Alan, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you, Alan?
Hey, sorry it's taken so long to get to you, but as I said, last and definitely not least, really looking forward to your presentation. So I'll just hand straight over to you, okay, Alan?
Excellent. Thanks, Alan. So let's see first that screen sharing is going to work well. How does it look like on your end?
We're still seeing just you. We're not seeing the presentation.
Oh, sorry. It's just a massive echo coming.
Okay. We're just seeing you. We're not seeing the presentation.
Okay. Then I think what it looks like on a Mac, I might need to switch off my video. And you've seen how I look like by now, so I guess slides are going to be a bit more exciting than me here in New York hotel room. So just a second, let me...
No problem. You would never think it's all the way over in New York. It's great quality, the video.
Yeah, we know the people that are behind the at least audio part and some parts of the video. Just a second. So if we... Okay, so I hope now we should be full screen for presentation.
It's perfect.
Excellent. So the title is WebRTC, Status Quo and Quo Vadis. Still getting a bit of echo, so it might be good if you can mute microphone on your end, and if needed anything, please use wire as a back channel until I'm set, if that would work. Perfect. So a little bit about me: Master of Science of Electrical Engineering, startup guy. This is my third startup that I founded. First one was Telio, voice over IP operator based in Norway, with operations in Netherlands, Denmark, and Switzerland. 450 people now, listed on Oslo Stock Exchange, and roughly 250 million euros revenue. And during the time of Telio also started with a couple of other colleagues, a company called Sonorit or Camino Networks, that has been acquired by Skype after 9 months of its existence. And Wire is now my third startup, together with Jonathan, another colleague designer, Predo. So at the start of a career, I've been also a developer, developing for a number of years C and C++. They are my programming languages that I've been using from the very beginning. Then after that, have been using Python, and lately playing a bit with Swift. Systems architect and standards veteran, have been involved in first ITU work, Etsy work, ITF work, and Cable Labs work, and as well part-time snowboarder, trying to enjoy also good food and good wine. So quite jealous on you guys that are in Lisbon now. So a little bit about Wire. We are founded in 2012. Offices are in Zug in Switzerland, and the main development office is in Berlin. We are a team of plus 50 employees, around 74, 75 that are coming from 24 different countries. Wire is used in 100 plus countries, and Wire's audio video stack is based on WebRTC. And there I'm quite proud to say that a number of guys that are in Wire are the ones that are behind the code which is used, or part of the code which is used as a WebRTC, and a number of us have been in Global IP Sound, and as I guess most of you know, Global IP Sound or solutions have been acquired by Google, and that code has been used as a basis for the initial WebRTC version. So this is Wire. And platforms-wise, Wire runs on iPhone, iPads, iOS 8 and above, on Android 4.2 and above, on OS 10, and then as well we have web app which runs on browsers that are listed below, where with exception of Internet Explorer and Safari that do not have real-time audio as the rest of them have. So today's agenda will talk a bit on the current status of WebRTC. Then we'll talk about some implementations, considerations, and challenges, and the next steps, and we'll give you then some final notes. So on the current state, I think it's clear that pretty much every notable RTC client on the market is using WebRTC. Those that are not publicly talking about using it, when you dig a little bit more, you see that they are using it, and they would recommend, of course, to everyone, if it's not giving credit to WebRTC, to make it. Further adoption is needed. As we know, Safari doesn't support it. Internet Explorer doesn't support it, though unofficially there is a number of rumors that during July it will be supported in a form of ORTC. Other thing that is super important is to observe that WebRTC is now, beside this horizontal spread, it's getting integrated into countless verticals, and we see more and more of the cases where distance learning or telemedicine, etc., where it's getting integrated. Other thing which is quite exciting, and that as well I think will keep a number of us busy in the years to come, is intersection of WebRTC with the Internet of Things and the whole sensors paradigm. But today what our focus is on some more imminent matters. So as Jonathan also mentioned today, we live currently in a post-Snowden era, and privacy is getting more important than it's ever been. And I can't stress more the importance on handling user data in a careful way, and as you know, with a great power comes great responsibility, and we've seen in the past on a macro level that there has been cases where NSA contractors or ex-employees or even NSA employees are accused of spying different companies and doing industrial espionage, or where they are spying politicians, as Angela Merkel famous case in Germany. And then the more you look into it, it goes on a micro level where ex-employees or NSA employees and contractors are spying on their mistresses, on their wives, on other people. So as mentioned, with a great power comes great responsibility and also great abuse. And also love there to mention Neil Stevenson's quote, which goes that how long do you want these messages to remain secret in your system? I want them to remain secret for as long as men are capable of evil. So getting into some of the design, implementation, and deployment considerations with the implementation of security, end-to-end encryption, and privacy aspects there. One thing that we came across during the last 2 years, dealing quite a bit with it, is this triangle, which looks pretty simple. We call it Lennys Triangle at Wire because the guy that first figured it out is called Lenny. And we see there that if you want to have a super strong end-to-end encryption, and if you want to have a history, and if you want to have a password recovery, you cannot have all three of them. So you can either have a super strong end-to-end encryption with a future secrecy, forward secrecy, even deniability, and the history with it, but then password recovery is issue. And the same thing like if you want to have a password recovery with this kind of strength of encryption, history is going to be sacrificed. And same thing like if you want to have a complete history and you want to have a easy password recovery, then end-to-end encryption strength needs to be compromised in a way. Of course, when implementing end-to-end encryption, there is a number of user interaction design considerations, and it needs to be super simple because most of the users are not gonna know what kind of encryption is used there and what it is used there. They just want to make sure that their charts are secure and that their privacy remains still at the levels where it should be. And the current implementations with the secret charts versus normal charts are confusing, unpractical. People need to switch between those, and it is not really intuitive to know at which point of time you are talking something, what should be remained as a secret or protected even more than what it's the case with normal charts, let's call them that way. Identity exchange and synchronization of a new device is something also what needs to be carefully looked at from the user interaction perspective. There are different ways to implement it with using out-of-band, with a barcodes, audio, or a special device, and none of those is particularly user-friendly. Endpoint considerations. As you know, client has been so far the weakest link in this chain. So even if protocol that you use to convey the data is the most safe, if binaries are not examined carefully, you may disclose way too much there. There also, what's quite important is if you're starting with the TLS in a first phase, and if you're not using end-to-end encryption in a first phase, as it's also a case for wire for messages. We currently use TLS, and we are encrypting transport, while with the media we are fully encrypting media end-to-end. Then certificate pinning for TLS implementation is essential, and there I would recommend you to pay quite much of attention. And if you want to test your TLS implementation, would recommend you to use the site which is mentioned there with SSL test and on SSL Labs site. Search is important feature, and as you know, when we are using end-to-end encryption, it needs to be implemented on the client side. A number of those considerations, as you can see from the client side, is adding more logic on the client and the more functionality there. And I also dare to say that with the end-to-end encryption also we are going to be seeing a shift from everything what is a cloud-based currently in communication towards a hybrid model with the peer-to-peer and the cloud. Large-scale deployments, as mentioned, start with a TLS for signaling if end-to-end encryption is difficult, and when using TLS, consider HTTPS 3.0 or SPDY. Though, as mentioned here, it's not optimal timing for either one of them because 3.0 is still work in progress, not that widely implemented, and SPDY is getting phased out. As mentioned, media should be SRTP end-to-end encrypted, and there make sure to use DTLS for a key exchange, and also make sure to restrict the number of ciphers that you are using to a couple of those strong ones that you can rely on. When deploying in a cloud, it needs really careful planning, VPN planning, rigorous access, and key storage considerations. So it doesn't matter if you have the most secure system, if people can obtain the keys and access to your cloud and your backend from your employees' laptops, in case that they keep those keys there unencrypted and they're easily accessible on the machines. Multi-party calling, another special case for end-to-end encryption. As you know, session establishment time with a key exchange can get high and too long, and as well you need then to make decision if you want to multiplex media streams or not, and depending on that decision you're going to have certain trade-offs either in terms of bandwidth or in terms of server capacity for the mixing. Also proud to say that soon, as a small hint from Wire, you'll be seeing end-to-end encrypted calls, multi-party calls by the end of month June. Other deployment considerations, you need to know that whatever you're deploying on App Store, that if there is an issue with that client version, that it will take at least 48 hours to deploy new version, and in a numerous cases it can be a week or even longer. So also there, make sure to use enough test flight and to test it with as large base as possible, whatever you are deploying. Other thing which we were a bit surprised when first time deploying on Apple's App Store was that your application, even if it's not developed by a US company, and even if you don't want to distribute it through a US App Store, you are still subject to US export laws, and there are special forms that need to be filled in, and then there are certain actions that you need to follow related to it. Transparency reporting is something that you need to be careful about, and would recommend you there to be fully transparent with all of the lawful intercept cases and other cases that you might be doing. So the ones that are ordering it are gonna be careful when they are ordering it, and as with my previous companies, whenever we could, we would always put the highest possible price per hour for this work, so that they would really think twice if they wanted to do it. Then other thing that would like to stress is quality when you are deploying your WebRTC-based products, and here is a quote, one of my favorite quotes related to quality from Henry Ford, who says, "Quality means doing it right when no one is looking." So what you can do right when no one is looking, you should be doing really test-driven development from the very start, write a number of unit tests there, and UI unit tests are super difficult to be done on iOS, similarly on Android, but they can be done, and they are hugely important, and they save you loads of troubles afterwards, and this is also something that we learned a bit the hard way. Focus on your continuous integration and your continuous deployment streams. Make sure that all of the tests that you are executing there do not take too much time, that you run them in parallel, and whenever needed, make sure that it's further optimized from a time point of view, because if they are taking too much time, then there will be done shortcuts, and they are not going to be every time with the commits executed, and similarly if tests are giving errors and people are still deploying their code, it is not a good practice and should be avoided at any price. So some final notes. Privacy matters. Use crypto wherever you can and whenever you can. End-to-end encryption is not overkill, but rather a commodity. Designing those kind of systems is really tough, and it has several considerations there, but it is the right way and the only way forward. And at Wire, we are quite committed to this way. But as you see also in our case, it takes time. Media is fully encrypted, and we are there with the media, with the messages, text, data. We are still not completely there, and as mentioned there's a number of those challenges and considerations that we are currently working on. Test-driven development and continuous integration are your best friends, and try Wire, provide us with a feedback, certainly appreciated. And as my favorite author, William Gibson, says, the future, it's already here, it's just not evenly distributed yet. Thank you. So now we have a bit of a time, I hope, for questions.
That was excellent. Thank you so much, Alan. A round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions for Alan?
If you could, Alan, if you could be a little bit closer, because again, when you are very far, it's getting a back echo and it's very hard to understand.
Yeah, I'll repeat the question, so don't worry. Just hang on a sec, okay?
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello. How do you see the balance between privacy and safety of a user? Because if I'm contacting someone that the other party don't know, how do you ensure the balance between those two things? Between privacy and safety?
So the question, Alan, was how do you see the balance between privacy and safety? Is that clear?
It is clear. It's again a tough one, and this is also another one that should be stated among the considerations. However, still a number of times they go hand in hand, and so technically. It is, I think, relatively straightforward. The better crypto have, the better privacy you're going to have, and the better safety you are going to have. But when talking safety, if a question was referring to a safety as with the terrorist acts, etc., there we have a, for sure, large challenge, and unfortunately so far we hardly had any information in media that was pointing out that this mass surveillance resulted in intercepted terrorist threat or activity or stopped intentions. We've seen a way more abuses of a different kind that I stated, and this is something what is still gonna keep us busy in the years to come, and how to make sure that the people that should be followed and that their end-to-end encryption is quite strong, and that it's not going to work in their advantage. This is something where I don't have a good answer today.
Excellent question. Are there any other questions from the audience? If not, let's show appreciation for Alan for a great presentation. Thank you so much, Alan.